knows that you have a chance of being robbed or attacked or raped or whatever when you go out on the streets, when you're walking around town, just going to your car at night from Walmart. And the rates do vary from location to location, although they seem to be quite a bit higher in urban areas versus rural areas. So this is just a presentation I'm doing on what we can do to keep ourselves safe, because ultimately we have to take charge of our own safety, and that means all of us. The first thing to do is stay out of dangerous situations here. Know your surroundings, be aware of your surroundings. Try to stay in well-lit, well-populated areas. If you're going to go into the bad parts of town, I'm going to say avoid that, but like I said, try to stay wherever you're safe. Pay attention to your gut feeling, because sometimes you just have that feeling and something feels wrong, you don't know what it is. Pay attention to that. You might be able to figure out what's wrong later on. Try to present yourself like you have some confidence, because if there's some type of predator or attacker out there, they're going to look for somebody who doesn't have that confidence, someone who's walking around looking at their shoes, all nervous and shy and scared. That's going to be their victim. And pay attention to the people around you, because if you're hanging out with a bunch of drug dealers, if you're hanging out with a bunch of criminals, if you're hanging out with people that just got out of prison, there's a likely something's going to go wrong around them. If you hang around with people who have their life together, have their shit together and everything, they're going to be less likely to drag you into trauma, drag you into problems, drag you into issues. And that's going to be for the better. And be aware of what drugs and alcohol can do to you. I'm not going to say whether or not you should drink or you should smoke marijuana or should do whatever. I'm actually for marijuana legalization. But
no, I don't do it.
yeah, same here. But be aware of what it does to your thinking, what it does to your judgment, what it does to perceptions, and compensate for it. For example, if you know you're going to go out drinking, give someone else the car keys or get a cab down there and back. If you know you're going to smoke marijuana and you know it's going to affect your judgment, plan around it. Now the next thing is, what do you do if a conflict is inevitable? Well, first thing you need to think, okay, fight or flight. Ultimately, your first priority is going to be escape, getting away. It's not going to be to beat them up. It's not going to be able to punch someone in the face or hurt them more. You're going to want to get away. One of the things you have to take into consideration too is fitness level, not just yours, but theirs as well. If you're big and strong and healthy and everything, and they're kind of short and flabby and everything, then you stand a better chance. But even then, your ultimate goal is to get away. You're going to want to be able to respond fast. You don't want to give them the chance to think about what they're going to do. And that's why you have to respond fast. You have to be able to respond before they can. And always have an escape plan, because that is your ultimate goal in all times in this, is to get away from them. And the last thing on here I want to present is what type of weapons or equipment should you use. The first best option you should always have is a cell phone. Even if it doesn't have a plan or a charge or anything like that, just keep a well-charged cell phone, because there's laws that say that you'll be able to dial 911 on it, and that'll work just fine. And if you're in an emergency situation, that's most of what you'll need. The next best option you could have would be some type of whistle or noisemaker to draw attention to yourself, especially if you stay in well-populated areas, because if someone's going to try to attack you, they're not going to want attention on themselves. That's the last thing they're going to want. And if you start blowing on the whistle or you start making a lot of noise, that's likely going to scare them off more than anything else. Pepper spray is a little less of an option, just because it can take so much longer to use it and things can go wrong with it. A lot of people can actually accidentally spray themselves with it, and that really turns things bad. And the last option is a gun or a knife. I'm going to say absolutely not. Those are like the worst options. It takes a while to get the gun or the knife out and that gives them time to react. And what's even worse is as soon as you pull one of those out, that automatically escalates the situation. That should be the last thing you want to do, is escalate it.
Okay.
If they have a gun or knife and you pull one, their mind is already thinking, I better kill them before they kill me. You put your life in danger if you get one of those out. So ultimately, like I said, this is what we need to do to try to keep ourselves safe. Our safety is in our own responsibility. It's in our own hands. We have to take care of that ourselves. Thank you.